that song? All the rock and rollers out there that are now 40 years down the road. What's our biggest challenge? Think about it for a second. As you look at yourself in the mirror, not front ways, sideways, what do you see? You see belly fat. Let's talk about it for just a minute. First slide. Let's talk about belly fat. It's a constant fight, but guess what? I'm telling everybody here, it's a winnable battle. You can do it. You can get rid of that belly fat. The guy on the left is a man. The figure on the right is a woman. You can do it. You can do it. Consumption minus usage equals fat. Remember that equation. As a chemist, I live by equations. That seems to be a proven fact, a very reliable fact. The more you eat, the less you do something with that body, the more you're going to save it. It goes into the savings area, and for men and women and humans, we call them bellies. See a lot of belly in there, and then you're going to see a lot of what they call spare tires. How can we fight that? Andy, give me some tools. Well, food minus movement equals fat. That's another way to look at the same thing. Next slide. Are we fat? Now, a lot of people say, hey, you know what, Andy? We got a big bone family. I come from some big people. We all happy, all healthy. Grandpa lived, he was 120. Great. But overweight doesn't necessarily equate to unhealthy. What it just means is you got extra baggage you lugging around. Now, are you ever going to use it? More than likely, unlikely. Some overweight people are in excellent health. But guess what? Belly fat is not a health problem. You know what it's a problem? It's a cosmetic problem when you look at yourself. It contributes to your self-esteem. It contributes to how you vision yourself in the universe. And it contributes to how you compare yourself to others. So what we're going to talk about is how to improve or reduce the amount of stored energy in your body. Next slide. Number one, you might not like it, and you might think I'm evil, but guess what? Drinking soda pop has got to go. That's not good for you. It's got a lot of sugar. It's got a lot of stored energy that's going to stay inside of you. I love a soda once in a while. Ask my wife. And I switch. But the bottom line is sodas of all kinds have got to stop in your body. Fruit juices, various coffee drinks, anything with sugar has got to stop. You want to cut back that belly? Stop drinking that stuff. Say, oh, I just have a cup of coffee and there's nothing bad about it. Yeah, but you start pouring all that sugar in there and you ain't moving all day, you're going to store that fat. Diet sodas are the worst. You remember I gave a whole segment just on diet sodas. 2 lies to go with it. One of them, I'm drinking diet soda, so therefore I'm losing weight. Therefore I can have more cake. The other lie is I'm drinking soda that has diet in it, and therefore I'm going to lose weight. That's all lies. People actually gain weight from that diet drink because it has a different kind of sugar. I think I talked about that one time. Fructose, that's basically sugar, can only be metabolized by the liver. And you pack that liver, and it stops working right. It's just like an alcoholic. My grandfather died of cirrhosis of the liver from drinking. And drinking is essentially an overdose of sugar, puts you in a euphoric state. The next day you got a big old hangover, and you're wondering why you broke all the dishes the night before. So let's think about it. What does the liver do? It processes fructose, and if you overfill it, it reduces that energy into fat. That's the number one rule. If you write down or think about anything that Andy Marino's telling you today, stop drinking that soda. Next slide. Here's another one. You see that guy on the right? Used to be the governor of California. He's still in some movies. Does a good job. But at one time, he was Mr. Universe. And the deal with that is he's eating beef. Now, eating protein, some people say, Andy, hey, I'm a vegetarian. I haven't eaten a cow in 100 years. But here's the deal. Eat more protein. Why? Because it actually reduces your cravings by 60%. You don't need to overeat it, but it does boost your metabolism, and it helps you eat fewer calories. Because why? Because your body's occupied eating that, processing that meat going down through your system. So, eat more protein. Next slide. All right, more bad news for those guys that like a soda pop and a donut in the morning. Refined carbs. What we're talking about is anything to do with powders like flour, and you convert that with sugar, and then you add some oil. That's a perfect formula for going right to your belly. So they're linked to increased amounts of body fat. Look on that. Everything you like. You like some French fries? Oh, it's got oil and it's got carbs. Awesome. Fried chicken. Pizza. I love pizza. But I do it in moderation, and I get full real quick. Hot dogs. Oh, I like a hot dog at the baseball stadium. Here's the other deal. Look at some of those snack foods you're ingesting. Just stop eating it. Drink more water. Next slide. You know, you ever see those before and after pictures? They really kind of irritate me because a lot of them are fantasy. And you always see the before picture with a huge fat belly and a sad face, and then the after, or whatever they're trying to pitch to you, he's got a big smile. It looks great. Now, you can tell the guy on the left, he's basically sucking in his stomach, right? Then you see the female. That looks pretty realistic to me, although it might have been photoshopped a little more on the right. But the deal is, plan on only 50 grams of carbs per day. If you can do it, this will put your body into a state of killing your appetite. Only 50 grams. It's called ketosis. Think about it. Make your body start burning fats for fuel. How do you do it? Cut out all that stuff I was telling you about. Make a list. Next slide. All right. You know, if you're particularly large and your bone structure is particularly small, or it's been a long time, I'll just let you know a little bit about myself. In the 1980s, I was training for the Olympics in 800 meter. And that was a long time ago, folks. It's 2015 now, and I started jogging just recently. I could barely move. Why? The time, the reduction of tissue, bone, and tendon strength is dramatic. So what I recommend for particularly large people that are trying to make an effort to make themselves better, exercise is good, but don't overdo it. And here's my best recommendation I've ever found. A swimming exercise in a pool, because you don't have to have extra bone pressure on your hips, your knees, your ankles. And it's awesome because every muscle in your body is moving. You can go to an exercise class, or you can just walk in the water. It's particularly awesome for resistance. It has buoyancy, it reduces stress. Walking, running, and biking are great too, but here's the challenge. You're going to put stress on your bones until you're in shape, better shape than you are. Let's talk about medical checkups too when you start an exercise program. Those are all challenges that you need to schedule your time. You need to schedule your resources to get to some place where you can do that. Next slide. All right. This I'm going to focus on a little bit. I've been around a lot of top athletes in my life, and the one thing I've always seen is top athletes keep a journal of their progress. And you know what happens with a lot of weight loss programs? You're there for about a week or two. They said, 6 weeks, you lose 100 pounds. I don't believe it, because I've seen a lot of top athletes. It takes years. But you can make a significant change in your cosmetic appearance by writing down everything that goes into your mouth. Drank a soda, whatever. You ate some popcorn, you had a pizza, you smoked 10 cigarettes. Write it down, and at the end of the week, review it. And you will be amazed as when you look back and you see all the garbage you put into your body, how that stomach developed. And what I have found is with rational thinking people, they will change on their own. Also, see that man with the tape measure around his belly? Measure that. I don't care if it doesn't change. Maybe it gets bigger. Measure it and write it down every day. And you will see an internal driver inside your brain. It's called a survival driver, which will force you to change your habits, force you to think. And you'll see what I call quantitative measurement. Hey, you know what? Yesterday I was 49 inches. Today I'm 48 and a quarter. That's what will drive your progress. It's your own brain, your own initiative, your own desire. That's what will change you. Not a talk from Andy Marino on the AME Food Safety Show, but you. And I'd like you to learn one phrase that I used as I was training for my competitions. Whatever the coach asked me to do, I would repeat in my mind during that exercise. I can do it. That's the most powerful phrase I can transmit to you at this time. Repeat to yourself, I can do it when you're at the donut shop. Eventually, you won't go in that donut shop. Eventually, you will do something else to change yourself, but write down your progress. Track your pounds and your inches. Write down all your consumption. All the people listening to this show, if you have giant monster children, they got their habits from you. If you're a monster, look at how your parents raised you and change it today. Let's look for the next progress statement and review it every weekend. Thank you very much.